Hello! These are the 28 books that I currently own in physical copy that I haven't read, and I have poor excuses for every single one why I haven't read them yet, so maybe this will help me figure out which one I'll read next. These first 5 books all fall under the category of I'm afraid I won't like them, or I'm afraid they're not very good. My only excuse is I only bought one of them. The first is These Days of Ours by Juliet Ashton, which is a chick lit similarly to The Tame of Their Lives by Maeve, Haran, I reckon. Also notice the fact that both have sort of twigs and leaves and birds, so the fact that these might be generic is what's putting me off. The next is Zusammen ist man weniger allein by Anna Gavalda. This is the German translation of a French book called something like Ensemble c'est tout. My French is not that great. English translation is Together You Are Less Alone. There's a movie as well. I just think this might not be that great. I don't know. I also, there's one thing, really dislike this edition. It's really small but printed right up until the edge, so I feel like you really have to break the spine loads. This is the only book I read, The End of Men by Hanna Rosin. This is a non-fiction book about the role of women today. I read the first 10 pages or something like that, and I felt like somehow the style wasn't quite mine. Maybe I should push on though. This is the only one I spent money on, so I should give it a go. And the last is The 12 by Cronin. It's a sort of futuristic dystopian, something's gone horribly wrong, our only hope are these prisoners, something like that. And I just think it might be a bit trashy. I don't know, it is popular. Tell me if it's good, please. These next 5 books, I had little sticky notes on them, all have the sticky note saying not me. They don't call out to me, aren't typically something that floats my boat. This is a short stories collection, 50 great short stories, edited by Milton Crane. My boyfriend has told me to read it, so I am inclined to please him, but I don't really enjoy short stories. The next one is Shotgun Lovesongs by, Nickolas Butler. This I hauled from my mum's bookshelf, so at least I didn't spend money on it because I've had it for a while and I haven't read it. This one is Headhunters by Jo Nesbo, a thriller I presume, although I think it's more on the sort of crime side of things, which is also not really me. And the last 2 books I actually got through a sort of friends send friends a book that they recommend via Facebook. So I got these 2 books from people I do not know, and I think the idea is great, but also then not surprising that you might get a book that isn't really your name. This one is Schläft, which is set in the very northern part of Italy. It's also translated from Italian. And this one is Falling Angels by Tracy Chevalier, who is apparently the author of Girl with a Pearl Earring, which is the only thing that means anything to me. I think this is historical fiction, which is also just a genre that I don't tend to dabble in. These 7 are in my third category, and they are all books that intimidate me for different reasons. This is Neal Stephenson, I guess, Seveneves. This was a gift. It has over 800 pages as a futuristic sci-fi novel, which I think the content I would enjoy, but over 800 pages, that's some dedication right there. The next is Philip Hensher's The Emperor's Waltz, just The Emperor Waltz. This is also not thin, not slim. The only thing is I know it's somehow centered around music, different stories, intertwining. This was also not recommended. This is actually a book my mum got rid of because she couldn't get into it, so that's not a great start. Then we have The Bone People by Kerry Holm, I hope that's correct. A New Zealand novel, centered novel, which I think is probably really beautiful. I'm afraid I don't know anything about New Zealand, or not enough to get the storyline. I don't know, I'm being a bit silly about this one. Then we have White Teeth by Zadie Smith, which I feel like I should read. Everyone seems to love Zadie Smith, and I feel like if I don't get it, I'll feel stupid. The next one is The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison, which I think is actually really cute because my mum signed her name in it and it says October 1984, so this is how long she's had it, and now I have it. And I'm just afraid this will go over my head. I don't know why it would. The writing is just sort of a bit, you have to sort of get into it. It's not like super linear. I should just, you know, kick myself in the butt though, because apparently it's excellent. Then we have John Steinbeck's East of Eden. This I was supposed to read last year. My boyfriend and I challenged each other each to read 4 books of the other's recommendation. This was his. He loved it. What he told me about it also sounds amazing. I'm just afraid it'll be a bit difficult to get into, sort of American history, 20th century family saga. I'm afraid it might be a bit dry. And then the last one I have here is a Margaret Atwood book called Alias Grace. The only of her other books that I've read so far is The Handmaid's Tale. It's just intimidating to me because of the size, to be honest. And also I'm not a great fan of hardback books, so I feel like this is quite unhandy. And these final 11 books are those that have just fallen prey to the TBR pile. I've forgotten them. They've been standing around looking pretty. And I've done the thing of just clicking around on my Kindle and buying easily accessible books there. These are the ones that I could still save because they are relatively new. This is Thomas Savage, The Power of the Dog, a story about 2 very different brothers. The next was a gift, Wolfgang Herrndorf in Plüschgewittern, sorry. This, I think, is a somewhat satirical German book, obviously, about a guy in today's Berlin and how it's all sort of hipstery and sceney and possibly a bit meaningless. This is The History of Love by Nicole Krauss, which I just have been told is really, really well written, and I think I'll like it. Like I said, just forgotten I own it. This is Zusammen, I guess, Die erstaunliche Wirkung von Glück. I picked this up in a bookstore because I was looking for something that in my melodrama would speak to me as a 20-something-year-old who doesn't quite know where her life is going, but not wanting to read something depressing, and I think this might be it. This is about a 20-something-year-old who I think lives quite a sort of secluded life and then meets an elderly neighbour. Things ensue. I'm hoping it's positive. This one I picked up because I thought the cover was really pretty. The Reunion of Ghosts by Judith Clare Mitchell. And this, the blurb on the back, I don't know more about it, says it's about 3 sisters and it's a collective suicide note. Apparently their father, grandfather, I'm not sure, invented chemical weapons to kill people with. Then this is Suri Hustvedt, What I Loved. I read The Summer of Women, I think it was called, and thought that was really, really good. So I think I will also like this. Apparently this is a love story, a thriller-esque love story. Then this is By Nightfall, Michael Cunningham. Apparently also a story about a relationship, in some sense, a married couple, and the husband, who I think is an art collector, artist, I'm not sure, involved in the art scene, develops an infatuation with his wife's brother. That's what the blurb suggests, at least. Then this is Slade House by David Mitchell, who I'm sure all of you know. I've read 2 of his previous works, and this is really slim and joyful, so I don't have an excuse. Then I have another one of Margaret Atwood's books. This is Oryx and Crake, which is the first in a series. This is somewhat of a sort of modern dystopian classic, I've been told. I really like dystopian novels, and I don't know why I haven't read this yet. Then we have Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. This as well is about a marriage gone bad, I think, and I think the special thing about it is that it's told both from her point of view and his point of view. I've heard very, very good things about this. I own it. Why haven't I read it yet? And finally, we have A Darker Shade of Magic. What did you say? Shade of Grey? No. A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, who I think writes really, really entertaining books. And this is the first in a series. I think the third one is due to come out soon. So I gotta get in this because otherwise I just keep on hearing stuff about it, which makes it less mysterious and magical to read. Those were all the 28 books. Please point out any book I should definitely just get over myself. I think it's stupid that I have these lying around. I'm hoping to move houses, flats this year, and moving with books is really annoying, but getting rid of books that you haven't read yet breaks my heart. So I hope you like this little insight into my TBR list, and have a nice day. Bye bye. Yeah, no.